Hello everyone, welcome to this episode on NRI Money Clinic. Silver has been making a lot of news these days. It suddenly spurred up. It is in race with gold. Day after day, the silver price rise. Some days it will fall, creating a lot of volatility. People become anxious, people become attracted to silver, but it's very essential that the investors take decision based on the pragmatism, the rational thoughts, and actually what is driving the silver price. We will try to find an answer. Should you be buying? Should you hold on to what you have? Or should you be selling silver at this point of time? This is NRI Money Clinic for you, and I am Dr. Chandrakant Bhatt, your financial guide for a happy living.
NRI Money Clinic. No hype, just the right advice.
In this episode, I will be talking to my senior financial guide working in our organization, Ms. Shweta Baliga. Those of our clients who are spread across globe, Shweta is not a new face for you. You could be dealing with her in your day-to-day requirements in our organization. Shweta is a very popular financial guide amongst our clients. She serves the HNI community from more than 60 countries. She is an AMFI certified mutual fund distributor. She holds certificate from IIM Ahmedabad. And she has collated all the questions that were asked by her clients, as well as she took efforts to check through our videos and collect all the questions that were raised about the silver. And she has tried to find answer from me.
So over the past few weeks, silver has been the hot topic among all the investors. So all the investors want to know why silver has been shining so bright. So today I've collated some of the common questions asked by our investors as well as from the comment section.
Shweta, silver is a very interesting case study. Silver has a silver lining. For silver, everything is happening right at the moment. It's extremely rare that you find such a situation. Demand is on the rise. Its partner gold is doing very well. Industrial activities are booming. And there is shortage in the market. So all things falling together, that means all these grahagatis of silver has fallen together, and as a result of it, silver is rising. That's exactly what you see in the price action in the marketplace. Everything that should happen to a silver is happening at the right time. Otherwise, you see one driver of the market is doing very well. There are other things which are not doing well, something of the sort. But at this point of time, everything is happening right for the silver.
Gold has been in spotlight as usual, but now this time it's silver which is racing. So we know what's happening with gold, but what is happening with silver?
Shweta, both the commodities, gold and silver, are known as precious metals. The only thing which is common between gold and silver is the word precious metal. But other than that, their behavior is something which is completely different. For example, gold is something which derives its value because of its rarity. You know, very interestingly, on planet Earth, you cannot create gold. You can't, by a laboratory method, you can't create gold. The amount of gold which is there on planet Earth is very finite. The amount of gold which we have has already been fixed at the time of formation of gold. So it happened in such conditions which cannot be replicated on Earth. We may have a lot of gold still in the which is still not taken out. It could be there beneath the oceans, or it could be beneath earth. But the quantum of gold that you have is finite in the earth. Therefore, it derives its value by its rarity. In case of silver, what happens is silver is also rare. However, its application comes from industrial utility. Gold doesn't react. Silver can react. Silver has industrial application. It has utility. It has more utility, and it has a linkages with the economy. When the economies are doing very well, the demand for silver rises. So that creates a demand for silver. So they are both precious metal, but their behavior is different plainly because of the utility. So the consumption will be there in case of silver, whereas gold demand comes from jewelry section or from the central banks as a storehouse of value. That's how the gold gets its value.
Gold prices are already high. Now silver also is shooting up. So is there a correlation between these two? Is it like when gold goes up, silver automatically follows it?
Yes, Shweta, that's an interesting observation. And gold and silver, that's why are called the precious metal. They are the Ram Lakshman of the metal batches. If one goes up, the other goes up. One comes down, the other comes down. There is a very, very strong correlation between these two. For example, about 70 to 90% price correlation exists between these two. So when one goes up, the other tries to catch up, and when one falls, the other also tries to fall down. Also, during the risk-off phase, where let's say equities are not doing well, markets are crashing, people are uncertain, wars, uncertain situation, then demand for both these will rise. Gold and silver both will rise. The industrial expansion or economic activity, when it is on the rise, it creates a demand for silver, so the silver prices could go up. As a result, the gold may catch up with silver. That might happen. But in the economic uncertainty periods, then the gold would go up and the silver will push up. So they are very, very closely related, but their demand comes from two different sectors. Only during an economic downturn, risk-off phases, both will work as a safe haven metals.
What are the key factors behind the silver's rise? Is it same as gold, or is that it has a unique factor?
As I told you, Shweta, everything happening right for silver right now. Number one, the demand for silver is so high. We are in a negative territory when it comes to question of supplies. This year, the demand gap, which is the demand versus the production, is close to about 150 million ounces this year. This is not 1 year story. This has been the story for last 4 odd years, and the cumulative demand supply gap is pegged at about 650 million ounces of silver. So we are in a prolonged period of a shortage of silver. So when demand goes up and the supplies draws down, it's obvious that the prices will go. This is one. The second thing is, because of its correlation with gold, now we have seen how gold has gone up in the last 4 years because of the buying by the central banks. So gold has created a demand of its own, and as a precious metal with a strong correlation, that is also putting pressure on the silver, the prices to go up. We are seeing the industrial utility of silver is on the rise. We are seeing two revolutions right now. One is the electrification of the vehicles, right? And the second is the renewable energy. In both these industries, the silver paste is used as a conductor of electricity and other things. So you have a great demand. And because of this renewable energy alone, the present demand, more than 30% of the demand, the current demand for silver is coming from one industry, that's photovoltaic cells from the renewable energy sector. So all these things are putting pressure on silver, shortage, the gold's rise, and the industrial utilization, which is from these newer sectors, which are the sunrise sector, is working in favor of silver, and that's pushing up the prices.
As we all know, silver is rallying. Is this sustainable, or will there be a correction?
It's very difficult to answer this question, Shweta, but we can figure out what might go right or what might go wrong. See, as long as the gold remains here, it's unlikely that the silver will fall down to a significant level. But let's say if something were to go wrong with the gold's demand, let's say tomorrow the central banks do not continue to buy, or if they offload, or anything which creates a shortage of demand for gold, will result in correction of gold prices. So when gold prices correct, it's obviously as a correlation point, silver would also might correct. This is one possibility. The shortage, since there is shortage, unless the shortage is bridged to a positive extent, that means supply rising and the demand remaining here, or this gap currently what we are seeing here, if this is not bridged, it's very unlikely that the silver prices will correct from here. There could be volatility of few days up, few days down. That's part and parcel of any trading. But from a supply point of view, I do not see anything which is happening which can improve the supplies and bringing down the silver prices. That is very unlikely to happen. An interesting case scenario when it comes to question of silver is, you have heard the gold mines, right? Have you heard the silver mines? right? Then how does the silver come? There are no silver mines to best of my knowledge. Silver comes as a byproduct of mining of other metals. For example, copper, zinc, and various other metals. When they get mined, the silver exists as a metal there and it comes as a byproduct. 70% of the silver which is being supplied to the market comes as a byproduct of mining of other metals. So there are no exclusive silver mines like in case of gold mines which can increase supply. So if the silver supply has to increase, the output of other metals have to increase. Otherwise, it's just not possible for you to supply the silver. The other source of silver which comes into the market is recirculation. Some people have got these silver utensils or puja items, the inherited silver items, which will come for recirculation. That could be the other source of silver. So there is no extra silver which is coming into the market, and there is no visualization I can make at this point of time. Something would improve this dynamics of supply, which can bring down the silver. It's very, very unlikely for from that point of view. The utilization of silver in this photovoltaic cell as well as the different switches and other things in the electrical vehicle, right now there is no substitute which is available for silver. But in any case, if the world were to discover another item which can replace silver to do the same thing, then demand for silver might come down. But such things will not happen like in a 1 day, 1 month, 1 year period of time. Extensive research over a period of time, people may discover it. It might happen. See, when shortages come, people will try to find out what can it be replaced. If you are in perpetual short supply, the world cannot run in perpetual short supply. So something has to replace, or some other methods have to be found out to make sure that this gap does not disrupt the industry. So in such a case, if it were to come, then silver prices may also cool off. But at this point of time, I do not know anything which can replace silver at that level. Regarding the demand side, see, we know that this electrification is a sunrise industry, and the whole world, knowing the climate change and other things, is focused on electrification of the vehicles. Renewable energy in India as well as in rest of the world is a priority area. It is still a sunrise industry. Therefore, the demand will grow for these things, and it is very unlikely that the demand will come down. So now, clubbing all these things, what can create the silver's price fall is the fall in the gold price. But from a demand side, from a supply side, from an industrial application side, there is nothing which is visible at this point of time where I can clearly say that the silver price may correct beyond this point. But I'm not also hinting here that the silver price will continue to rise. That's not what my interpretation is. I'm just trying to put all things which is working in favor of silver, what might go wrong, and what is that visibility we have. That's the observation I am bringing it to you now here.
Gold has always been the favorite, but now silver has been slowly stealing that place. So if someone has to get exposure to this precious metal, either gold or silver, where should the investor invest?
Well, there are no easy answers around it, but we can attempt an answer towards that. For example, if you want to invest, my best suggestion is always invest both in gold and silver. Okay? Let's say in your portfolio, you give an allocation for precious metals in total, then you take 70% gold and 30% silver. I'm not telling all your money you buy 70% gold and 30% silver. Let's say in your portfolio, and you are given an allocation for 10% for the precious metal. Out of the 10%, 70% you go towards gold and 30% you go for silver. This is one method you can adopt. The question that today, should I buy silver or should I buy gold? The way it is looked at is there is something called a silver to gold ratio. So each is a precious metal. So it is compared one with the other. So how it is derived is very simple. So the ratio works like this. How many ounces of silver are required to buy 1 ounce of gold? Very simple. It's whether it is in dollar, INR, anything is fine. How many ounces of silver I should give to buy 1 ounce of gold? So this will tell whether one particular precious metal, be it the gold or silver, is more expensive than the other one. Now let's take through the example here. Historically, the mean of this is at 75. That means to buy 1 ounce of gold, you have to give 75 ounce of silver. Now let's say today this ratio has become 80. Instead of the historical average of 75, now I have to give 80 ounces of silver to buy 1 ounce of gold. What does it mean? It means gold has become more expensive, silver is cheaper, that's why I have to give more silver. So as a logical expression, then the thing that you have to buy today would be silver. But it's not easy. Tomorrow if the gold prices fall, this ratio gets altered again. So the ratio gets altered because of the price of the silver or price of the gold. So if this ratio is above 75, from a relative valuation, silver is cheaper and it is likely to move up and bring this towards 75. On the contrary, gold price is low and the silver prices have moved up. The ratio falls below 75. If the ratio is less than 75, it's time to look at gold than the case of silver. But this is all theory. For a common investor, it is very difficult to make guesses around it. So there is a wide discussion right now happening around gold and silver. That's why I thought I'll bring to the benefit of our viewers how these things are seen by the professional fund managers.
Is there a shortage of silver in the market? And how are mining and supply dynamics affecting the prices?
Shweta, the supply can come from two sources. One is either because of the mining. I told you that there are no silver mines and it should come as a byproduct of mining of other base metals and other things. The silver is also held by London Stock Exchange and different exchanges as a stockpile. That means see, it's a precious metal, so there is a good amount of stockpile of silver which is available. I checked to the statistics. As I said, there is a shortage of supply compared to the demand. And this shortage of supply is there over last 4 years and accumulated shortage is in the region of about 650 million ounces. But when I compare with the holdings of silver which is available just in London, so London has about 25,000 tons of silver. So there is no absolute shortage of silver that tomorrow we run out of the silver. That equation is not there. But if you compare between the amount of demand which is coming in to the amount of supply which is coming from the mining, there is a clear shortage. However, the earth has enough of silver to cater to all this.
Whenever the economy booms, you said the silver prices will rise. Can you explain more on that?
Well, Shweta, silver has an industrial utility. Unlike gold, which does not have a great industrial utility, silver has an industrial utility. It is being used in the photovoltaic cell, I said, electrification of the cars, switches, as a conductor, silver paste are used. Earlier, silver was being used even in the X-ray films. Now that's a thing of the past. It has an industrial utility. Since it has an industrial utility, an economic upsurge results in booming of industrial production, which results in consumption of silver. It just creates a demand. That's why the prices will go up.
How can people invest in silver if they want to?
Shweta, if someone wants to buy silver, multiple options are available. The question is, are you an investor? Are you buying out of your need? See, during these festival times, during the marriages, during this Brahmopadesham, during the Puja festival, people buy it for, gifting. Then in our culture, silver is part and parcel of our culture. People gift it. People use it for the puja purposes. People buy these silver thalis, right, for children. So multiple things are there. So you can always buy physical silver if you wish to. But if your intention is not for consumption or day-to-day utilization or for special purpose utilization, my best suggestion is buy it in the form of ETFs. Today ETFs are available from every mutual fund house. So you can buy ETFs, silver Bs are available. You need to have a demat account to store them. If you don't have a demat account, in that case, you can buy the fund of funds, silver fund of funds, which are available from mutual funds. You can buy silver there. But recent news says that many of these people have stopped taking subscription for the fund of funds and the ETFs. The reason being, the supply of silver is not available. They have to hold the silver. Without holding the silver, they can't give you the units there. So temporary cessation of subscription has been reported for the silver fund of funds. That's the position today. The best place, if you want to be an investor, a shrewd investor, an investor who is investing with the purpose of buying the right amount of gold, silver, or anything, is multi-asset funds which are coming from the mutual fund houses. Multi-asset funds will have different asset classes. They will have equity, they'll have real estate, they'll have debt, they'll have gold, they'll have international the equity, and they can also have silver, and they will have silver. When to buy silver, when to buy gold, how much of silver or gold to have is a call the fund manager takes based on the information that is available and the dynamics of these metals in the marketplace. He will decide what needs to be done. When you are try and go and buy something, you may underbuy, you may overbuy, or you may buy it at a wrong time. All wrong things can happen. The best way to get a silver exposure is through the multi-asset funds. If you want specific silver, or try out an ETF or try out a fund of fund whenever they accept the money.
One last question. I'm curious to know, why are silver prices higher in India than abroad?
Well, typically the prices should be same as the international price. Add the logistics and other things. You convert the dollar equivalent of rupee and multiply this. That should be the price. But it's deviated a lot, right? I'm given to understand that there is a 10% difference in the silver prices in India compared to the international markets. What's happening? The reason is silver is not coming into India. It has created a shortage here, and the shortage is commanding a premium. This is the primary driver of why silver prices are higher than the international prices in India. Plus, there are elements of taxation, there are elements of logistics. See how much it costs to ship a silver from the destination where it is available to India. All these things will matter, but the current drift of this 10% price difference which we are observing from international market to India is sheer premium which is being paid by the Indian consumer for shortages. Dear viewers, hope this video gave you the required insights around silver, what you should do, buy, sell, hold, or the intelligent way of buying silver. If it helped you to understand all these things, do give me a thumbs up. Do not forget to subscribe the channel and hit the bell icon. Do share these videos with your near and dear ones, friends and relatives, and on all the social media on which you are connected with. Thank you very much for watching this interview. I shall see you with yet another topic in yet another video very, very soon. Till then, stay safe. Jai Hind.
Press the bell icon for more details and subscribe our channel.